Good evening and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education. We would like to invite you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe we have a special guest to lead us. Ms. Jenkins?
Yes, we have Marisol Talavera and Muriel Ramirez Talavera, and little sister Lisa's here too, and Dad, Mr. Ramirez. So Marisol, Uriel, you want to go lead us in the pledge?
Whenever you're
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And, what grade are you in?
Fifth.
Excellent.
And he's in kindergarten.
In kindergarten. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you
today.
for being here.
Thank you.
So much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Madam Superintendent.
Yes, sir. I have two comments. One, you'll note that this is the first board meeting at which we've utilized the approval powers, the limited approval powers that you granted the superintendent. So you'll notice that there are two separate sections to the HR section. One of those is a list of board agenda items submitted for your consent, and the other is entitled a notice of things which I have already approved based on the limited powers. Some of those you'll note, such as number one on the list of ones for your approval, that is indeed a special education aid, but the powers that you conveyed to me for approval were for one-to-one special education aid, so it doesn't cover that because this is a general special education classroom aid. So we've been very, very meticulous about the separation and the limited approval powers that you conveyed, and I wanted to make those clear. The second thing that I wanted to make some public comment regarding is, since our last meeting, there's been public notification of a notice that we received last week from the West Virginia Department of Education, the governor's office, denoting a 4% cut across government agencies and a 1% cut for public school systems. What may not have been clear to everyone involved is that this was not a notice of an impending cut for next fiscal year as we prepare our upcoming fiscal budget. It was a notice of a cut that will be happening in this fiscal year that we are already 4 months into. We have already noticed our staff on their salaries, on supplements, on benefits. We've already hired folks. We've already purchased materials and supplies. So some of the maneuvers that we might have undertaken are not available to us because it is coming mid-year. However, we as a central office had already begun to undertake some significant both cuts, restraints, holdbacks in an attempt to slow our expenditures and carry over additional savings to help us in the next fiscal year. Based on the actions that we've already taken, the positions that we have not filled as they've become vacant, and the ones that we've cut down from 261 to 210 or 240 at the central office alone, our projected savings from those actions is $346,000 a year. So although the central office comprises 1% of our total school budget, they've undertaken the burden here of taking a significant portion of that $500,000 looming cut. We will be meeting with the principals at an October the 22nd meeting following the October 19th Faculty Senate meeting, at which we'll have discussions about the best actions moving forward and options that we have for absorbing the remaining 150,000 plus in cuts, but that's far more amenable than taking the full $500,000 out of schools. So we continue to make every effort to keep those cuts out of classrooms.
Well, I know that everyone here is doing more with less. And while that's not easy, it is certainly necessary. And we are deeply grateful to you and your team for plowing ahead.
Thanks, sir.
Minutes of our last regular board meeting. Action on approval. We have a motion.
So moved. Second.
Any clarifications to those minutes? Questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Citizens' comments. We have Ms. Lisa Browning tonight.
Just stand here.
Yes.
I'm Lisa Browning, and I had contacted the Transportation Department about October the 1st. My son was on a bus that was completely unsafe and overcrowded. There was a video that was posted from my son's phone, and I had called to talk to somebody about it. The first phone call was transferred, and I think I got cut off. I don't know if it's because of the area I was in. I live in Tuscaloosa. I don't know. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not on my cell phone service. And then I also left a message. And then I also emailed, thinking that if it was a busy day or something like that, maybe when things quieted down, an email response would have been better. But I didn't get an email response until I emailed the superintendent of the state. And once I forwarded her an email, then I did get a response that they would get in touch with me by the end of last week, and I still have not gotten any response at all about the safety and the issue of the bus.
Well, I thank you for bringing this to our attention, and I think we have, if we have your information, if Mrs. Harner has your information here, I can't read the phone number that well, so you might write it down again for her. We'll make sure someone contacts you right away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Could we have the bus number and the
Yeah.
and
my
the date?
Yeah. Do you want all of it now, or me write it down for you?
Just write it down for us. that's-
Okay, sure will. Thank you.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
No changes to the consent agenda outside of what's outlined there in red.
Okay, we have a motion to consider the consent agenda.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Questions? So the first group are those that are being submitted, and the second group are those that, under your authority, you've already received, so that you can move forward with whatever action needed to be taken as a result of that.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Under the limited 4 categories that the
Right.
board approved.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Old business, okay, yes, old business. None. New business.
We're requesting approval of a school psychologist intern through Marshall University, who is serving 1 day per week to support our staff, learn testing techniques, and work collaboratively with our school psychology staff. It's a great opportunity for us to both help give back to the community and to vet a potential new employee, as always. And the better experience that universities have with us, we are hopeful that that will help our recruiting efforts as well.
Absolutely. We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
I hope this lady's not traveling back and forth.
Yeah, that's quick. Any way you can get her more than 1 day a week?
Not with our lineup of classes, no.
Yeah. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Boy, we're rolling here tonight.
We do, hang on. We
Now,
do have a.
Jill, we could, yeah.
Yes,
This has got to be the record.
Yeah, well, certainly on this watch. You anticipate an executive session?
yes, sir, we have 2 termination recommendations for the board for their consideration.
So there possibly would be action that we
Yes,
would
sir.
have to take
I
in public
anticipate that there will be
session. Okay,
action in public
okay.
session.
Well, before we turn to consideration of that, open the floor to board colleagues for any comments. Mrs. Ogden?
I had the opportunity this week to, actually the end of last week, to volunteer in a classroom, elementary school classroom, where they were using, I believe it was the NASA program. The teachers have to volunteer to go to training. It's on a Saturday. You know, it's 4 to 6 hours, I believe. But once you do that, then you get the Lego kits. And to see third graders in a classroom with Lego kits having to use their laptops, they're motorized, and they had these dancing birds, and they had a Lego robotic, like a little robot, and there were several of them that they could use. And so that they were trying to spur on other teachers. It's with the STEM program, through the NASA STEM. It was amazing. It was so much fun and so exciting, and the kids were loving it. And it was great to see the teachers' enthusiasm, number one, that they went on their own time because it felt it was that important. And number two, that they were trying to get other teachers, hey, this is great, and look what the kids are learning, and there's just so much interaction and cross-curriculum connections. It was great to see. So I was thankful to be able to be involved. I said, I'll come back the next one and do it. It was fun. It was a great time.
Mr. Osborne?
I attended the Common Core panel at Shepherd College in the downpour about a week ago, and I will have to compliment Barbara Zam for, she was outstanding in her capacity on that panel, and was very knowledgeable. So she was outstanding.
Mr. Cable?
Nothing further?
Mrs. Skinner? We had the opportunity, the board, as part of our annual training requirement, to attend a training session last week. I believe it was Thursday evening, with our colleagues from Morgan County, our board colleagues from Morgan County and Berkeley. Excuse me, and the superintendents were there as well. And the discussion was mostly on governance and communications and how boards work effectively with superintendents and set goals together with the community. I thought the training session was good. I thought, more importantly, the opportunity to sit with our colleagues from our surrounding counties and to hear what's going on in their schools and kind of compare notes was extremely useful. Particularly talking to David Banks, superintendent at Morgan County, and colleagues on his board who recently had a levy election that failed, that they subsequently had to run again, and they shared a lot of the pain as well as some of what they did right the second time. So appreciate the opportunity we had to do that. Thanks for mentioning STEM education, Mrs. Ogden. NASA has one of the best. There are several federal agencies that fund STEM education, but NASA is by far the best. And I'm glad to hear that some of our teachers are I know it takes up a lot of their time, their free time, but hats off to them for doing so. It really helps inspire kids at an early age to consider careers in engineering and to understand mathematics and science and technology and things that they can do. And in fact, I would love for us to sometime in the near future to maybe have some discussion here about what are we doing in STEM now and what could we be doing to strengthen our STEM offerings for our students.
Well, one of the things that the board will receive, as you pointed out, we've been working with the principals. All of the principals as of October 1st had to turn in their goals for their evaluation. They met as a group and we set an elementary, a middle, and a high school goal. All of those were around mathematics and increasing mathematics achievement. Subsequently, goals in my evaluation and in the evaluation central office staff are around mathematics achievement. And so we've been working since then on articulating some plans for additional staff development and support that are based in our review of the data of where we've seen strand weaknesses previously in our mathematics program and how we're going to address those. So,
Great. We look forward to that.
Would you mind, Dr. Gibson, would you mind explaining also what was going on in the next room when we were in that training about the principals who received?
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes, ma'am. There
Yes.
were, and actually one of those, the teachers came up and thanked me today at the school board office for the board being there. Next door to us.
At our training last week. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Next door at the training last week in Martinsburg, they were honoring 2 cohorts of teachers and administrators. One cohort was those who have become nationally board certified teachers, and the other cohort was those who have completed the principal leadership training. And Jefferson County had 3 teachers in the first group and 2 administrators in the second group who were honored.
Yeah. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay. Pursuant to West Virginia Code permitting an executive session to discuss personnel issues, we will entertain a motion to go into executive session. Second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll take a 3-minute break. Maybe.